All right, guys, welcome back to Absurd Automotive. Today is not a fun day. We're going to go seal up the transmission, motor. We're going to go seal everything up and try and get the gauges working. So this is going to be kind of a long, grueling process for me, and then hopefully for you guys, you get to see the end part where I get everything working right, and I get to go do some cool burnouts and get to actually have fun with the car and not worry about it too much. But, one, I gotta make sure all the gauges work. I gotta know if this thing is overheating. I gotta make sure it's keeping oil pressure, stuff like that. The oil pressure gauge and the temp gauge are not working. I think I have a fuel gauge and I think I have an alternator gauge in the car, but I'm not sure. My analog speedometer works, so I'm not sure if those are both broken or maybe the sending unit is broken or maybe the gauges are broken. I don't know. The gauges looked fine. They didn't really look like they were messed with. So we'll go through, we'll figure that part out. But the engine does leak pretty bad. Transmission leaks pretty bad. We got all new seals here. I got a power steering pulley I got to put on. A couple things I got to go through. I got a new Cruise-O-Matic shifter I got to put in. So there's a lot of work to do here, and we're not going to do it in this shop. I'm not going to pull a transmission in a garage. That stuff is not fun. I've done it before when I was in the Canadian's garage when I drove up here. Not a fun time. But thankfully, there's a shop nearby that's let me rent a stall, and I can put this thing up on a lift, and we can hopefully pull the transmission out and get this thing all sealed up and proper, and we're not going to be, hurting ourselves. I got all the proper tools to do this. So we're going to drive this thing over there, and it is going to be, hopefully, only a day or two where I get this thing together, and then we can go and have some fun. So I might have to tear this back out and actually mess with some stuff, because none of the light bulbs in here work either, like my lights. Like my front lights, I don't know, there it goes. My foot pedal doesn't really work either, so I have to get a new high beam, low beam. But yeah, the lights in here don't work, so I'm gonna replace all the lights in here. I'm gonna make sure these gauges are good and test them with some sort of tester before I put this gauge cluster fully together. Like I said, I just temped in the dash, and I temped everything in to kind of see if everything fits for one, and that it looks good, if I even like it. It looks okay. Once I get the radio in there, and I get all that stuff figured out, I think it'll be a lot better. But hopefully she starts on cue this time. Woohoo! She sounds really good now. She looks so good and sounds good too. Almost done. Here we go, folks. She's up on the lift. She's looking very good. We just gotta seal up the motor and then fix our power steering pump and seal up that transmission as well, and we'll be all done. So let's get this thing up in the air and see how it looks underneath. Let's see how dirty you are under here, girl. How much rust you got? You can see our beautiful, brand new lead brakes kit we got on there. Everything looks pretty all right. Nothing looks terrible. I mean, this on this side is pretty bad over here. You can see where I welded in this giant plate and had to fix a bunch of stuff, but it's not that bad. My new fuel line running. I mean, the floors are a little bit rotted, but I think the bottom is original, and then they put floor pans over top of it. I think that's what happened. But I mean, this is really not that bad. I think this was cut out. Yeah, this was cut out right here, it looks like. So I don't know. He did some work on it for sure. But still, the frame rails are good, which is what I was worried about. I mean, back here you got a little bit on the trunk side. Hey, these are my lights. I gotta fix those. But not the worst. Could be a lot worse. Being from New York originally, I've seen a lot of really bad rusted out cars, and this is not that bad at all. It's actually pretty decent. I'm actually pretty excited to work on this because hopefully nothing's gonna stick together. But we'll see how everything turns out. But so far so good. This looks pretty decent. You can see the pan is leaking real bad here, and everything under here is all soaked. It looks like it's leaking from the back of the pan again. If that's seriously where it's leaking from, I'm gonna be so pissed. It looks like is where it's coming from, is the back of the pan again. I'd be so upset if it was that. I'm kind of debating if I should just do another pan while I got it in the air, or if I should do a rear main. I don't know what I should do. Oh, I do know that it is leaking a little bit from the valve covers, but it's not that bad. I also know that it's leaking a little bit from right here. You can see I put in the new pump and I didn't put on enough of the gasket or something, or it's too loose still. But we'll tighten that up. And then I'm really thinking about doing the pan again. Really thinking about doing the pan. The pan's a lot easier than pulling the transmission. So we're going to think that over for a little bit. But right now we're going to pull the transmission pan off, clean it up, see how everything looks in there, and then we'll put on the new gasket and we'll put the pan back on. And then we'll make our decision if we're going to pull the transmission or redo a pan again. I'm not sure, but how this is looking, I'm kind of thinking I should just do a pan. For the third time now. These gaskets aren't sealing well. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure it out. Something that really amazes me, like I said, I'm from New York. The original e-brake still works, still pulls, still works. All the line. Like if this was a New York car, these would be toast. There'd be nothing left of these things. This is beautiful. I mean, it's not beautiful, but it's pretty nice. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. For what I paid for it, it's pretty nice under here. New pan gasket, looks nice and clean now. I actually decided to drop the transmission. So we're going to lower the car down, pull the top two bolts out, start pulling some stuff off of there, unhook the battery, unhook the starter, pull all this out, unhook the drive shaft from the back and just pull it out so I don't gotta be tearing apart U-joints and stuff right now. And then we'll just take out the two bolts and the brace and pull the whole thing down. Hopefully it'll be super easy, but you never know. All right, we got the two main top bolts of the transmission out. I've got all the stuff up here detached. I had a vacuum line, a few other things to detach from the transmission. So now we're gonna get this thing back up in the air and work underneath it, get this thing out of here. Yesterday we finished up tearing off the pan. We finished up tearing about everything off the transmission other than some mounting bolts. So today we're going to pull the mounting bolts off, pull this thing out, change out a rear main seal, see if everything's good in the front of that transmission, and then now we'll put everything back, hopefully the same way and nothing breaks. There we go. The transmission is completely out. Looks pretty good behind there. Nothing crazy. Transmission is very dirty, but everything looks like it's there and it's functioning. So that's a good sign. I had some trouble getting these lines out without trying to bend them or break them. That was a bit of trouble, but they're out. They're all functioning. Everything in here looks good. And someone told me I think I have a high stall torque converter or whatever. This looks like the original torque converter to me. I don't think that looks different. I don't think any of this has been touched at all. We're gonna pull this out and see if that front seal in the transmission is leaking. And then once we get the rear main seal in, we'll see if this is leaking. If this is leaking, we'll head to the store. I'll grab a new piece for that, or we'll have to just sit here and wait for a new piece from Amazon or something. And we'll put this back together and put it back in the car. This is really easy. This actually is probably the simplest transmission drop I've ever done in my life. And if I'm gonna replace the front, I might just replace the rear too. But we're gonna clean this up too, because this is disgusting. So we're gonna clean it all up, get everything clean. Oh, we'll clean up under here too, clean up the plate. We'll pull this off and do the rear main. And even look up and in here, I still can't tell. So we're gonna pull the wheel off. We're gonna mark where this is, because we want to put this on the same way we took it off. That way it's balanced, because I'm pretty sure this has a, yeah, it's got a weight on there. So we want that to stay in the same spot. So we're gonna mark where this went. We'll pull this off and we'll see if this rear main seal is leaking or not. So after we pulled the transmission, looking here, this is definitely a sign that this has been messed with at least a little bit. This all looks new. Freeze plugs, but that doesn't mean there's a cam in it. It doesn't mean anything crazy. I'm now gonna pull the pan. I gotta pull the pan regardless, whatever I do, because right here, huge gap. You can see the track of the engine block right there that I missed on the back side of the engine here, and I think that's where it's leaking from, but I could be wrong. But we're gonna pull the whole thing, we'll reseal it again, and then what we'll do is see if there's a rear main seal in town, because the rear main seal I bought is not the right one. If I do have the rear main seal, I might change it, I might not, but we're definitely gonna look inside the motor, see if there's a cam, look around in there. There's a borescope that I have, so we're gonna just make sure that's sealed up, and we're gonna kind of check it out in there, because I didn't get to last time and everything's all apart, so we might as well just kind of check it out. And then the transmission, I'm gonna pull the main thing, because people were saying there's a high stall torque converter and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think this is completely stock. So we're gonna pull it out and check it out and everything, and then we'll clean up everything. Hopefully that rear seal back there, the front seal of the transmission isn't leaking, but it's probably leaking, so I'm probably gonna replace that, and then I'm probably gonna replace the rear seal as well. I've already replaced the cork on the pan. Might as well replace the rest of them while I have it out, so I don't gotta do it later. But yeah, this thing looks like it's been messed with, so I'm now thinking this is a bit of a, I'm still like totally on the fence on what is going on with this thing. But we're gonna pull the pan and we're gonna find out what's going on with this thing. After getting the pan down, I don't know if we can snake up in there, and we'll get I think I see it here, I see the cam. So I think I can snake a freaking borescope up between the cylinders and things and see if that is a aftermarket cam. It doesn't look like it, in my very limited opinion. Doesn't look aftermarket, but we'll see if we can pull some numbers off of it or something. Get up there and look. But I think it was the pan, guys. Trying to get that thing under the car like that, it jammed it in, and it is very much wrecked. So I'm gonna go get a new pan gasket, and we're gonna do it the right way under a car where I'm not on my back and can't do anything, because this clearly wasn't in the track, and I'm gonna clean all this out. I am not gonna do a rear main because this looks trash, and I'm just not gonna do it. I don't wanna do it. It doesn't look like it's leaking. It's fine. I know for a fact that that's leaking, so I think that is the problem. And if it's not the full problem, then we'll pull it back apart. But I think it was just user error, and I think that's all it was. But we're gonna get up in here and see if this is an aftermarket cam. Again, I don't think it is, but I could be very wrong. So we're gonna check it out and see what's up in there, because people are saying it's got a cam, but I don't think it does. All right, so you can see right there, that is the lifter. That is not a roller lifter or roller bearing or anything. That is just normal stuff, so those might be stock. And they don't look super eloped. I think that's the word, eloped. But they don't look super crazy, so I think this is just the stock cam. I don't think this thing's modified. I think it just has the big Holley carb on it. I think that's all there is. After getting drenched with some transmission fluid, we have our thing out. That is definitely leaking. You can clearly see it's leaking right here. It's coming down. So we're gonna replace that seal, and we're gonna clean the whole bell housing up, and this looks fine. This does, I don't really see anything that indicates this is aftermarket or really fancy at all, but that really sucked. I just covered myself in transmission fluid, but it's fine. We're gonna go get all the seals and everything, seal everything back up, including the pan, all of our transmission, and then put everything back together. This thing is not getting a rear main seal today. I don't think it's leaking that bad, if it is leaking at all. I think it was literally just this pan that I messed up. So we're gonna go get some new parts, and we'll be back to, I'm gonna change too, and then I'm gonna head into town, get everything, come back, finish everything, put it all back together today. Hopefully drive this thing out of here today without any leaks. All right, we got all our seals. They are ready to go on. We're gonna put everything back together, including the transmission seals. I got brand new front seal and rear seal. We're gonna put the old torque converter back in because everything was working, so I'm gonna leave it that way. And then we'll put our new oil pan gasket on with no RTB, no nothing. And I'll make sure everything is in the track this time. So hopefully everything will turn out good. Transmission is ready to go. We got the front sealed up, everything's cleaned. Transmission is cleaned off a little bit, not great, but we got the rear seal as well. So transmission is now completely sealed up. She is ready to go in the car. I'm gonna do the oil pan gasket real quick now, get the front of this all sealed up, and then we'll put the transmission back in the car. We have the seal on here now. We're doing it the right way this time, or at least we're trying to, but I have a lot better of a vantage point back here now since the transmission's out of the way. So we're going to actually seal up just a little bit right here with some red RTV on both ends of these parts, just a tiny bit, not a lot. And then we'll use the gasket to just close it up. So hopefully this will hold and we won't have any issues long term with all this stuff. I'm just gonna do a tiny little dab. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Pan is all done. Everything, as you can clearly see, very sealed. It's not like it was last time where it has a lot of openings. And now front is sealed as well. You can see the gasket. Everything is awesome. This is way easier when it's not on the ground. This is the third time that I've changed this oil pan. God, I dislike it very much. But we're gonna move on here. We're gonna pull everything else out of the way here. We're gonna get the transmission up and in. Hopefully that goes smoothly. There we go, transmission's in the car, everything's all finished up, drive shaft's in. We just got to do some stuff on top, like plug in some wires and some vacuum hoses, but it is all together. I'm going to change out the Shift-O-Matic little bucket shifter thing up top there, put the new one in so it doesn't slap around so hard, and then we'll fill it up with fluids and we'll get this thing out of here, and hopefully we'll take it for a nice little rip. All right, there we go. We got all the transmission in together. Everything is functioning properly. I have my brand new shifter in it as well. Nice shiny new shifter, so it actually works. It doesn't slap around so bad. Everything's working really good. All the fluids are topped and look great. I'm waiting for it to get hot so I can check the transmission. Nothing sounds like it's clanky or I hooked it up wrong or anything. So once I check everything, we'll get her out of here and take it for a ride quick. Ooh. Alright guys, as you can see, I have picked up some seats for 20 bucks. Now, I already bought a pair of seats for these things for like 300 bucks. And it's the correct era and correct style of seat that's supposed to be in the car. But they're in New York, we're in Alaska. It takes a lot for them to ship up here, and I'm heading back that way anyways for some personal reasons, and I'll pick them up then. For now, to pass tech and to use them for racing and driving and all the stuff we want to do with this car, I bought these Mach 1 seats. That's right. We bought some 1973 Mach 1 seats. They're shag. They're fancy. I also got these cool mics, so I feel like just elevated myself. I just put myself in a different tax bracket. We're stepping it up here at Absurd Automotive. We're taking it to the next level. I can't be serious about this. We just paid 20 bucks for a pair of Mach 1 seats that have shag. I mean, they're rough. You're pretty bad. But it's better than the seats that I have in it that are out of the truck as little foldable crappy seats that I'm bending every time I push on the gas. The whole seat bends backwards. These are safer and nicer. So I measured them with a tape measure before I pulled them out of his car and tried to put them in this one. So they will fit. They're just going to be really close. So we're going to do our best to see if we can fit these things into the car and just see how they look. But yeah, we just elevated. We're on a new platform here. We're gonna be one of those rich YouTubers. Yeah, we got shag seats now. We got paint matched cars. Like we are. Woo, we're getting up there. Millionaires. We're coming. It's coming, man. I'm gonna be a millionaire by next week at this point. All right, well, let's get these things in the car and see how bad these look or how good they look. I don't know. We're going to see. Oh, here comes our shag seats. They even fold down and up and stuff. I'm so fancy. I have folding seats now, not just stationary. Woo! Fancy seats. Probably some of the fanciest parts I've ever owned in my life. Like, I mean, they're really not that fancy, but like, I guess on paper. Name-wise. Brand name-wise. Oh, yeah. Already loving it. If I can fit it in there. Oh, yeah. Here to come back a little bit. I can almost bolt this in. Oh, I can. That is really close to bolting in. If I put some spacers in the back there, I probably could bolt it in. I definitely am going to have to modify some stuff. These sit way too far back. If I modify them just a little bit, put some spacers in the back side there, lift it up a little bit. I mean, oh yeah, these sit way better. I'm still clearing everything. Oh, they still clear they clear really good too. Oh yeah, modify these things to fit in here. Whoo! New shifter. Oh, my gauges look good. I got shag seats. I got Mach 1 seats. This thing is basically a Mach 1 now. All right, let's get the other seat in here. Gotta figure out how to bolt these things in here now. They look so bad. They look terrible. I might put covers on, but at the same time, I might not because they're Mach 1 seats, and I just love people to ask about them. Like, why do you have shag seats in your car? Because they're from a Mach 1, and they're fancy. Yeah, this thing is a Mach 1. I have a Mach 1 68 Mustang. I don't even think they made Mach 1s in 68. I could be mistaken, but I don't think they started until like the 70s. Like early, it's like maybe 69, maybe 70. I don't think they had a 68. I could be wrong. I'm not that big of a car guy, though. I'm not really big of a car nerd, but... Oh, yeah. Oh, they're terrible. But not bad. It could be worse. They indeed could be worse, but they're not as bad as these. These were pretty bad. Some welded up, very crappy seats. But now we've got Mach 1 seats. So they'll probably sit right up there. Right. Somewhere in there, like right here. So it'll probably look pretty bad. But it'll be way more comfortable than those. And I should actually be able to drive the car pretty hard now and not fall out of my seat and almost die. So this thing's really coming together. It's going to be faster than a Mach 1. I'm going to make this thing go Mach Jesus. All right.